Hey everybody, Rick here. So it's time for a garden update. It's been a while. Apologize for that. Things been really busy for me, but there has been some exciting things going on here in the garden. So we are actually in harvest time right now, and I've been picking quite a bit of stuff. But let's start here. So these are my Alsa Craig onions. They didn't get as big as I thought they would, but I kind of knew that already. It's this tree. This tree only allows this part of the bed probably about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours of sunlight a day. And that's why they did not get big, but they are actually ready to harvest. So I'll be picking those here after a while. My beets, I picked those probably 5 days ago. They were all in this row here. They were the Egyptian flat beets, and they turned out really good. So what I've done is juiced some of them, and I'm in the process of pickling the others right now. So this is my kohlrabi. They're just kind of hit or miss, but I have some decent sized ones. I might have to go to the other side. Let's see if we can get a good look. So these are actually fairly small, but I did pick a couple, and oh my goodness, they are great. There's a decent one. So kohlrabi. So I'll be picking those sparingly. So my carrots, I should have thinned them out. They're getting really big, and I've been picking a few and just kind of making baby carrots, and these are the rainbow ones. So, and just like I had mentioned when I had planted them, they're all kind of different colors. Some are red, some are orange, some are white. So I'm just gonna let those go, and we'll probably just continue with the baby carrots on this one here. Here's my celery. Celery is doing great. Okay, let me see if we can get up underneath here. Okay, so this is the celery. It's not gonna get big like they do with the stores, but oh my goodness, this stuff is so flavorful. So I've been picking that a bit as well. Oh my goodness. Let me get out from underneath this tree. So we got a bunch of rain this morning, and now it's starting to get a little windy. So that's my celery. So water was dropping on me. Here's my red cabbage. I think that's about ready. So this one is the biggest out of all of them, but they're actually turning out well also. So I'm going to be making some type of sauerkraut, probably some more kimchi. I'm gonna be fermenting a whole lot of stuff, which I'm gonna show you guys in another video. I found this thing on Amazon that's really cool, and it just makes fermenting just ridiculously simple. Here's my comfrey. I cut this stuff all the way back. I mean, there was not a leaf to be found. I did that about 2 weeks ago, and this is the new growth already. So it is no killing comfrey. My potatoes are actually ready to harvest, so everything is starting to die back now. I just haven't got around to doing it yet, but that'll also be in another video. Except my sweet potatoes, I'm just kind of letting those guys go. So they got all kind of weeds and everything in them, but sweet potatoes tend to be pretty hardy. So and then I did put those in a lot later than the regular potatoes as well. So we'll let that work itself out and see what happens there. Okay, my herbs. I harvested tarragon, I harvested marjoram, and I dried it and put it in with the rest of my herbs. Now I have to come and harvest mugwort and the lion's tail. What I can harvest off of it anyway. So this is probably actually past due as far as harvest. I don't know. We'll see. But something I just wanted to try to grow, and it actually turned out really good. It was big, beautiful flowers. So I have this in the elevated bed. But this here is stretching probably about 8 foot. So, and then give it another 2 foot off the ground. So that's probably about a 6 foot plant there. So it's turned out well also. Toothache plant. I think I got enough. So I'm trying to harvest it, and I was doing some YouTube research on it. Trying to harvest it, but I still want it to have the same potency that it has now, and about the only way that can actually happen is if I make a tincture out of it. So we'll figure this one out. My peppers are doing really good. Wind kind of blew this one over. I need to go ahead and clip it up. But peppers are doing awesome. We got some early developers here. This is the gypsy pepper. So they're actually looking really good. So last year I had a big case of blossom end rot on these, but I treated all these beds well, my peppers and tomato beds this year, and that's not an issue. So with gypsum and what else did I use? Just basically calcium, some type of calcium carbonate and stuff like that. So my Anaheims, not much yet going on as far as pepper development, but we still got a lot of time because we're still recently in the heat, even though we're in the middle of summer. It took a long time to warm up here. So these are the ones that I topped off in the front here, and they'll develop here eventually. So hopefully might have quite a few peppers here in roughly a month time. My Moringa is actually doing really well. I lost my other one in this pot because the wind came. It actually broke the bamboo. Well, it broke the stake, the support off the bamboo, and it actually broke the Moringa down there. So this one's still doing well, and it's got a lot of new growth on it. I planted some dill because I wanted to make some dill pickles this year. So these are some old transplants the big box store had that were half dead, so I kind of revived them a little bit and bringing them back to life. My ghost pepper, this thing it's actually a beautiful pepper there. So I got some suggestions on making pesticides and things like that with it, but I got a friend who actually loves these things, so I'll probably end up picking a bunch of them and giving to him as well. So my sage, I have not picked my sage at all yet this year, and I guess it shows. So I need to come in. I don't have any room for, I guess I can make another herb jar, but I still have 2 quart mason jars full of this stuff. So we might make some more, we'll see. My stevia, I need to come and trim this on back. It's gotten really bushy as well. So we'll let that do its thing. More peppers here. Those are pimento. That's a new one. I don't know much about them. But again, because we're just now getting some decent heat, that's why I don't have much pepper development just yet, but it's coming. Eggplant. Got one little one there. And something is eating the mess out of my eggplants. So this is a plant that I've not known to grow quite a bit. So I just kind of throw them in the ground and see what happens. But I have a patio one in the front in a pot. It's a patio eggplant. That joker is producing like crazy. So I need to figure out what to do as far as taking better care of these. So since I got rid of my rabbit issue, here's my peanuts. So I have 4 here, and they're actually doing really well now. And then I dug up 3 that were just kind of the bare root, and I threw it in my brassica bed, and they're actually starting to come along as well. So this is a hot pepper. I forgot the name of it. I'm not sure. But it's something that I got from the Kansas State University, where I helped those guys out up there, as well as the Master Gardener class, volunteer stuff that I do here. This is Virginia Gold Tobacco. Again, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but between wind, this is pretty much wind damage and a little bit of bug damage here. I've never grown tobacco before at all, and I just want to see how big these get. In this bed before I had my zucchini, and lo and behold, the squash bugs got me. The boars got in. They didn't kill the plant, but I knew it was its days were numbered, so I went ahead and pulled all of them out there. And I had my tobacco here, and I just moved it over there just to give it more room, and we'll see what happens here. All right, okra. Okra is doing very well. I got to get down because it's still growing, still short, but it has really nice thick stalks that I thinned out as it was growing, so that's about the perfect spacing for those. So all we need now is just the heat to continue so they'll grow, and I'll be pickling okra this year as well. So this is more tobacco plants. So these was ones that I transplanted when they're really small and put it in my cauliflower bed because I picked that stuff a long time ago. And this is a Brussels sprout that I had just kind of laying around, threw it in there, and it's doing well also. Okay. Add spaghetti squash. I threw 3 plants in, forgot how big they actually get. So they're actually, this is the trellis that I had planned on letting them go up, but they've made their way all the way down halfway through the bean bed. I mean the bean trellis. So there's gonna be quite a few spaghetti squash in there. And my lone bee Hank, he has been doing wonders again. So I had 3 or 4 bees earlier this year, but Hank's the only one that comes back. So, and he's probably around here somewhere. Well, maybe not because we just got a hard rain. So, but that's spaghetti squash. Here, my yard beans, asparagus beans, and soon it'll be time to start picking these. I actually had them running all the way from here to here, but for whatever reason, these did not do well. And this was long before the squash started shading that out, because these have already made it to the very top, and this is an 8-foot trellis all the way to the top. So, but I should get plenty of them between all of these going on. All right, the cucumber trellis. It is starting to gain some serious height as far as cucumbers, and I'm actually out here to pick some. These are my Japanese long cucumbers, and I've been picking these quite a bit already, and I have a whole lot of them to pick today. So this is an amazing cucumber, and like I said, it is a long cucumber. So this is probably about 12 inches or so. Let me see. 7, actually about 14 inches. So, and then I have a bunch of them. This is Hank. This is all Hank. So got some neat shaped ones here. Let's see here. Got some back over here. And these may actually be my go-to cucumbers from now on, because the ends are just as sweet as the middle part are. And over here, I have my Boston pickling cucumbers, and these are what I'm making pickles out of. So I have a half-gallon mason jar, and I'm making really big pickles because my older girls, they really like them. So I got to get down and look for these guys though. Oh, and there's also another variety in there. Sorry about the camera. So I have a variety called Ancash. This is actually going to be the first one that I pick, and we'll see how that all turns out as well. But yeah, Hank has done this, and so we have some of these. This is the very top of the trellis right here, right, and there we go, right here. And then we have these that's making their way. This one's probably 4, if it wants to go straight up. This is about 4 blocks high going from there, and all of this stuff over here is as well. So yep, hopefully I'll have a nice shaded tunnel here after a while. But those are the cucumbers. Okay, let's go over here. Strawberries they're pretty much done. So I still get the stragglers, and I just let the birds take care of them. I wasn't very happy with how the barrel turned out as far as with production, and I'll be putting these in the ground next year. So Dudley likes strawberry. Dudley, he likes strawberries. So that's Sir Dudley. All right, tomatoes. The wire is working out great this year. So with the crazy weather, when it gets hot, cold, and then rain, and then dry, that baling twine just always breaks on me. But I went with the 17 gauge wire, and it's taking a licking and keeps on ticking. So these are Creole Originals. So not getting a ton of tomatoes yet, but it's coming. So got a little bit of crack on the top there, but we'll give it time there. Oh, I planted some sugar snap peas back here. Time to pull all this stuff up. But this is I'm glad it was here, because that rabbit that I had, he'd actually found these and started leaving my peanuts alone before I got him out of here. So all the comfrey that I chopped, it is laying all the way down the tomato beds, and and then I still had some extra, so I threw it in the compost pile. So these are all my tomatoes. This is called a lemon fire, so it's going to turn yellow, tomato. Let's see here. This was black vernissage, so they look like Mr. Stripey's kind of. And I actually got some starting to turn down here. I don't know how big they're supposed to get. We'll see. But that's there. And then my Chadwick cherry tomatoes. So they're just your basic cherry tomato. So we'll see. I need to come out and do some more pruning. But see, bed's sitting probably about a foot off the ground. I'm 6'2". So this is probably sitting right around 5.5 feet right now. And then my Chadwick over here, this is actually over my head. So I'm expecting the cherries to climb all the way to the top, like the super sweet 100s that I planted last year. So wow, it's some crazy wind. So this is more potatoes I need to come and harvest. So let me do the rest of the herbs. This is rue. I'm going to pull all the rue up, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. So I've been reading mixed results on it, so I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. That was another Brussels sprout that I had laying around. This was fenugreek that I'd harvested a lot of the leaves off of, and it's, I don't know if these are seeds or, I don't know. But I'm gonna pull all of this up. And then chamomile, I harvested a ton of this, and it's actually time to pull this all up too. So we had a crazy windstorm that blew that over, and it never stood back up. So I'm gonna harvest the rest of this and then pull these on out as well. Okay, these are some more. These are not volunteer. These are tomato plants that I got from Kansas State that they were going to throw away, and I had a little bit of room, so I just threw them in this bed here, put a little bit of comfrey around it, and just let it go. And I don't know what it's doing right now, but I need to go ahead and stake it, make it look more aesthetic. But these are some varieties that they have been crossbreeding and trying different things, much like Oklahoma State did with the indigo rose tomato. So a bunch of different things, and I'm trying them out as well with their trials. But yeah, I need to come and stake that stuff up. So those are all tomatoes there. Over here, my 3 peanut plants that were just almost a bare root. It was just one leaf on like each one of them, where the rabbit just chewed it to death. But they're starting to come back alive now. So we'll see if they'll actually make it before season. Okay, I got a bee. That's not Hank though. I know what Hank looks like. Let's see if we can get in there and see. I'm not sure if you guys get to see it. So this is a 2nd year volunteer sunflower. So I haven't planted sunflowers in a long time. Here's my corn. This is the glass gem corn. So it's probably up to my neck right now. And I'm really looking forward to that one. This is the blue giant that I started it indoors, decided not to plant them. And I had 3 of them that took, so I just threw them, literally, I just threw them in this area right here. And they decided to root themselves and get on up there. And yeah, they're probably up to my chest right now. So we'll see what happens here. Then I got some volunteer corn back over there. So that was out of compost, and I haven't done anything with that. Okay, couple watermelons, Jubilee. I don't know if they'll make it or not. I've never had success growing watermelons on a consistent basis, but there's 2 plants in there, and I'm just letting them go whatever direction they want to go in. Okay, and here I have what's left of my collard greens. So it's about the only brassica that can hang with the heat to a decent degree, but even they're starting to slow way down. So I'm gonna just leave these in, and then I'll probably pull them up in maybe a month or so and then replant for the fall garden. What I'm thinking, I want to do an all purple fall garden, so I'm gonna look for purple plants and go with it from there. So here, this is amaranth, and first year growing amaranth as well, and it is looking really good. So these plants are the tallest one back there is probably about 6 foot, 6.5 foot, and then this one here is roughly 5 foot or so. So I've been harvesting some of the leaves earlier on, and they actually taste really good. So I like juicing those or blending those up as well. So I'll figure out how to store that. Over here, my Japanese popcorn. Wow, this is about 7 foot tall. So I got some silks, I got some tassels, and this turned out way better than I thought. I mean, extremely good as far as the growth that is went in. So I treated it with some rabbit fertilizer and well, rabbit manure anyway. And I have the watering, sorry guys, the watering watering spigot down there that's part of the irrigation system. So that is doing absolutely well, amazingly well. Keuka melons, they are going to be abundant. Let's see if I can bag up and show you. So this was 30 plants, or 30 seeds plus the volunteers that came up last year. And I think the volunteers probably outnumbered the seeds that I planted 2 to 1. So ideally I just wanted to have a nice clean run up here, run up the trellis, because that is going to produce probably 500 to 600 Keuka melons as it is. The way it's running right now, it's all the way in the front, it's all the way in the back. It's actually made its way to the fence. So I had this old piece of cattle panel back here that I threw up, just kind of get it out of the way, and it's found that as well. So I probably won't have to buy any more. But we got some little bitty ones starting to show up there. See if I can focus in. So little bitty Keuka melons. And the way these guys grow, they're not really picky. So it's probably gonna be a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 of them guys on here. And I'm not gonna pick all of those. So that's what my daughters are for. And she loves doing it actually. So these are purple hull peas, and those are weeds in the back. That's what they call wild spinach or lamb's quarter, I think it was. So that stuff was prevalent this year. But in the box here is purple hull peas on this half of the box, and then a couple extra watermelon plants that I didn't know what to do with. I just threw them in there. So this area back here doesn't really get much attention, but with everything being self-watering or automatic watering, it seems to do okay. So here is a midnight grape. This is another extra tomato plant I picked up from Kansas State, and this is a tomatillo. So never grew these before. Just broke that off of there. Tomatillo, yeah, that joker's not even near ready. And that was just an extra plant that they had laying around, and I never grew tomatillos before, so just kind of wanted to see what happened. But right here, this is a loofah, my loofah plant, and this trellis is nowhere near big enough. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna run like some type of a wire or some type of a trellis here, and I kind of wanted to run that way it's not intruding on my neighbor's side of the fence, being that it's right here in the corner. But I've never grew loofahs before either, so we'll see what happens there. Broccoli, this is another one. This is a different variety that I'm surprised is not bolted yet. I've cut the main head off a long time ago, and I'm just getting a million side shoots. And not only am I getting them, I almost have to cut them about every 3 to 5 days because they get kind of crazy, and I got to get out here and cut these now. So I've been wanting to pull this plant up, but it keeps producing. So it looks like we got a little bit of flower starting to come along there. Ben, I haven't cut this one, but everything else still looks really good. So I'll come and trim that. And then a perpetual spinach also. That is another staple that I've been juicing quite a bit, so I haven't came out and cut it in a while because still got plenty in the fridge. But I need to come out and cut this back as well. And it looks like that's a volunteer tomato plant. I have no idea how that got in there. So I believe that's a tomato. Well, we'll see what happens here. So, all right, guys, that is the garden. So trying to think, make sure I got everything. See, I did the spaghetti squash. Yep. Okay. Oh, there's Hank. Let's see if we can get over there and see him before we sign off. Hank loves my cucumbers. And then I have Comfrey that is winter flower in the front, and he loves that area as well. So let's see if I can see him. I don't want to disturb him. All right, guys. Well, he's here, and I'm glad he showed up. I'll see him every day, so that's my buddy. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign off now, and hopefully we'll start getting some harvest videos a little more consistent now, and we'll go forward from there. So, all right, you guys have a good one. Bye.